Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to my fast level up tutorial on Pokemon Go. I'm going to show you how to get experience extremely fast and level up as fast as humanly possible. You can see my account over here. I've only been playing 2 days as of recording this video, and I'm already at level 16. That is an incredibly fast level up, and yes, it gets slower after that. Yes, it gets harder after that, but at level 16, you're going to be catching high CP Pokemon, you're going to be catching rares, and you're going to be able to do a gym battle, so I'm going to show you exactly how I got to level 15 that fast. The very first thing you want to do in order to get a lot of experience is you're going to want to visit a lot of Pokestops. The Pokestops give you free XP and free items, and of course, they're going to be a happening place for lures. You want to find the busiest place in your city. In my case, this is the shops at Legacy in downtown Plano. You can see there's a triple lure across the street. I'm in between a double lure. The building on the right is rumored to have rare Pokemon there. I found them when I was there. There's a gym downtown and tons of other inactive Pokestops. But you'll find these places, and you'll find probably about 100 other Poke trainers there if you live in a big city, or maybe 10 to 20, and you can kind of share lures because you can only drop one at a time, and you can see there's Pokemon everywhere. I've got a Rattata down at my feet, and of course you want to start catching Pokemon. Most of what you're going to catch are going to be like Rattata here. They're going to be very low level Pokemon. They'll be very easy to catch, but that's actually a good thing. You want to be catching as many Rattatas and Pidgeys as possible. You get 100 experience per catch and 50 experience per Pokemon visit, so you can pretty much just sit there and rack up experience over and over and over again, but you don't want to use your lucky eggs just yet. You want to save them up because you're going to be catching hundreds of Pokemon tonight. You're going to sit here for at least an hour or two and just catch all night long until you are completely loaded up with Pidgeys, with Doduos, with Weedles, and not Beedrills, of course. You won't have those yet. Rattatas, you'll get a ton of Eevees. You're just going to hang out and catch and catch and catch, and again, don't use the lucky eggs yet, just hold on to them. At the end of the night, your Pokemon supply is going to look something like mine. Lots of Caterpies, tons and tons of Doduos, but that's okay because each one of them gave you experience, and when we evolve them, we're going to be getting even more experience. We got a lot of Eevees, we got Magikarps even, but you're mostly going to have Pidgeys, which are awesome because you will actually get the same amount of experience for evolving a Pidgey that you will for evolving any other Pokemon. And evolving a Pidgey into a Pidgeotto is the same experience as evolving Pidgeotto and Pidgeot, so the game is kind of geared toward you catching these low-level Pokemon and evolving them to get the most experience. Rattata does as well. The next step is to use one of your handful of lucky eggs. Of course you can buy them, but you do get them for level up rewards, and as soon as you use it, go ahead and start evolving Pokemon, because normally you would get 500 experience per Pokemon evolved, regardless of level, regardless of their new or whatever, but with the lucky egg, that doubles your experience gain for 30 minutes, and you're going to be evolving them and getting 1,000 experience. So it's very easy. You evolve 10, 15, 20 Pokemon, that's 10,000, 15, or 20,000 experience, and it doesn't take that much in levels to do this. If you don't want to eyeball it and you have a ton of Pokemon and you don't want to eyeball it and you want to be very precise, you can go to PidgeyCalc, which is at pidgeycalc.com. It kind of it's as you see here, a calculator for maximizing your lucky egg and XP gain. So let's say we've caught Pidgeys. Let's say I have 42 of them and I started with 8 candies. We can hit calculate and you'll see that I can transfer 37 Pidgeys. I'll be able to evolve 4, get 4,000 experience, and it'll take about 2 minutes. Or we can go, you catch a ton of Rattatas. Let's say I've got 111 and I started with 7 Rattata candies. You can transfer 90 Rattatas, evolve 4, and it'll take about 2 minutes to evolve your Rattatas. You can do this for all your kinds of Pokemon, just you can put in crazy numbers. I don't think you guys will be doing any of this sort of stuff, but you can see exactly how it would work in order to optimize your lucky egg time. Personally, I don't use the PidgeyCalc too much. I find it easier to just do the math in my head and freehand it a little bit. The bigger trick is to not actually transfer your Pidgeys and Rattatas. You'll end up transferring so many of them, you just kind of get into a habit and a grind and do it. You just got to kind of hold out and not do that. Just hold on and make sure you're actually evolving them. And as you evolve them, they're going to get stronger and stronger. You're going to get a ton of experience. I do think it's worth it to go ahead and evolve to a 3rd tier Pokemon if you don't have it, because that's going to give you 2,000 experience and fill in a slot in your Pokedex, which you want to be doing anyway, but for the most part, just going to be evolving a ton of Pidgeys and Rattatas. When you're done, you will have gained probably 10 to maybe 30, 40, 50,000 experience, depending on how many Pokemon you have. You can see that I went from barely level 15 to almost level 17 in one evolving session here, and this was only after 2 days of playing. Now, after 3 or 4 days, and once you get into level 20 and stuff, it's going to slow down and get harder, but the strategy is basically the same. Catch a ton of low-level Pokemon, use your lucky egg, and evolve the ever-living devil out of them. There's an alternate strategy which isn't quite bad, but I I think that the original one is better. Some people like using lucky eggs and fighting at gyms, and the idea is that every time you get a victory at a gym, it's going to be 250 experience if you beat a Pokemon, if you clean out the whole gym or whatever. So if you use the lucky egg every single time you fight, this is, you can see my Snorlax versus my wife's Pinsir, every single time you fight, you could get 500 experience out of it, and you can go through the fights relatively quickly. A lot of people like getting the gym rewards and stuff too, so there's nothing wrong with this strategy, but I feel that when it comes to time investment and overall gain, doing the Pidgey grinding strategy is going to be much more effective for just raw level gain. Maybe this one's going to change it up, a little bit of fun on occasion, but just stick with the Pidgeys if you want the raw levels. I'm going to do a quick gear recommendation because any serious Poke Trainer knows that the standard walk around with your cell phone won't cut it. I have a very lightweight Overwatch backpack that I use to carry around everything in. I have 3 portable chargers and an additional battery, one for me, and then I have one for my wife and an additional one for a friend. Carrying around the additional battery, we have a regular wall charger, and of course we also have a headlight in case we're going to be doing any adventures, hats so that your brain don't overheat, water for hydration, and I do carry around some folding chairs sometimes in case I want to take a seat, but this makes life much better because the basic walk around with the cell phone just doesn't cut it for catching Pokemon. Alright guys, that's the end of the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. And of course, one final tip here. If you want to go and catch Pokemon, don't forget to bring your pets, because if you're out walking, they're not walking, and they're going to get super jelly. Isn't that right, Ozzy? Isn't that right, buddy? You're a good doggo. Uh-huh. Ozzy, are you a good doggo? Huh? Are you a good doggo? Yeah. You're my good boy, aren't you? Yes, he's a sweet doggy. Boop, 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 boop.